Hey there, you, me, and DC fans, and welcome if you are new. I am the stepson of Krypton,
And I'm Mantis.
and today we are back with more James Gunn deflecting rumors and debunking the myths surrounding. This time it's Batman and not Superman. And a
Yeah.
little bit of a change up. Still blocking rumors, deflecting him like he's goddamn Captain America with that fucking shield. Um, I really shouldn't do that. Apparently, the algorithm really detects within like the first minute or two if you start dropping like f bombs and shit. But
Yeah. What is it? It's like the first 36 seconds, I think they say, or something like that. You're not supposed to curse.
here's the
So.
thing: we're not fucking monetized anyway, so fuck you, algorithm. But that being said, we're gonna go ahead and before we get canceled, we're gonna go ahead and
Yep.
jump on into the discussion. All right, so James Gunn is at it again, debunking more rumors that have been spread based off of what he said, and we know from firsthand experience, people taking what you say completely wrong. So, Mantis, do you want to kind of go over what we're
uh,
talking about here?
yeah, I saw this a couple days ago via Screen Rant, and this almost seems to stem from social media. And this, I'm going to kind of go on a little off topic here, but it's kind of on topic because it's involving social media. Certain states are kind of saying, or was it states, or was it like the FDA or something was saying social media was bad for your health, for kids' health or something like that. So I totally understand it. James Gunn's a grown man. He's still deflecting BS from his social media platforms. I know he's on Twitter. I think this one particular was from TikTok or Instagram. I think Instagram, actually. But it states that the thread, oh, actually, it was Threads. It actually says it in the article. I should have read more. It came from Threads, stated that Dark Knight for Batman, the Brave and the Bold has already been decided. Uh, how they already decided who's casting, but James Gunn hasn't said anything. So, of course, James Gunn being the deflector in chief that he is for the DCU, denied the rumors, saying, no, we haven't begun casting for the DCU Batman. And then also rejected another rumor kind of in the same vein. I think there were some other people that had jumped on the same bandwagon, adding rumors on top of rumors, that have rejected another one about the same movie, The Brave and the Bold, which stated Andy Muschietti and I don't know this other guy's name. I'm so sorry. Rodo Sayuges. I don't know. Sayyagues. I need I need some pronunciation. Someone help me. Would be the writers for the movie, and of course he did. He was like, no, that's of course that's not a thing. But the good thing about it is through those, him coming, releasing the statements via social media, he did clarify a couple of things therein. One thing came from another fan, asking to clarify what he meant, because previously he had said Bruce would be a couple years older than Clark, of course referring to Clark Kent and the age difference there. So kind of insinuating that we may be seeing an older Batman there.
Kate. Bruce?
And even James Gunn had said that that had the Superman director stating how he only said that Bruce could be a couple years older, but he'd only meant that the character may or may not be the same age as Superman. And James Gunn had said, pretty sure I didn't say that. What I said was Bruce could be a couple years older than Clark. All I meant was I wasn't tied to Bruce and Clark being the same age, which kind of going in inference here, in my opinion, on the whole thing of really what we're going to discuss is the age of Batman. One, and two, should they have two concurrent Batmans going at the same time? Because you got to remember the Elseworlds Batman is still a thing currently with Robert Pattinson and his portrayal of the Batman. So I'll just say my opinion on it is I liked the direction of the Zack Snyderverse or the Snyderverse Batman and him being older. Um, I would like to see that same thing here in the new DCU, because with the Elseworlds, you get that young Batman. You're kind of getting that right now, right? Like it's a young Batman. He just became Batman. You're seeing that side of it. I know it's in a different universe, and that's okay. I want to see older Batman. Even I don't know. Batman Beyond's maybe a lot that maybe push a lot of people's buttons wrong because, you know, really Bruce Wayne is not Batman at that point. It's
Terry
is it his
McGinnis.
nephew? Yeah. Yes.
Turns out to end
Um,
up being supposedly his son.
Right. Yeah. So I'd be fine with that, quite frankly. However, I will say, and maybe you can agree with me or disagree with me here, but what they really should do if they want to hit a home run is literally take Batman the animated series and then make it live action. Just fucking do that. Like the same age Batman. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. It almost seemed like Bruce was in his late 20s, early mid 30s in that. It's hard to kind of infer, obviously, because they're animated. But he didn't have gray hair in that, so I'm
They
assuming
never
he's
age.
in his yeah. You know, in I don't think I'm speaking out here that the overwhelming majority of people love Batman the animated series. It's a great thing. Like just do that in live action, and I feel like you'd hit a home run. But I get it. I wouldn't mind an older Batman. You know, what say you?
So I'm thinking like older Batman, but like similar to when we talked about Green Arrow and Stephen Amell, where at that point now he'd been Arrow for so many years. Like you, and when you see him, like when they start joining the Justice League, they are a bit older, right? So they're still kicking ass and still doing the fighting, but they are very experienced. They've been doing this for years, so maybe not 20 and 30 years like Ben Affleck's Batman was 20 years being Batman, but maybe 10 to 15. So we got a guy that's in both, we got those guys that are in their mid 30s ish kind of a range where they still got plenty of fight left in them, but they have the maturity that they're bringing a lot more of the wisdom side of Batman to what's
Mm-hmm.
going to eventually go into the Justice League, because we all know that's where they're going to go with it, right? Is they want a Justice League. So I think that, and then what can happen is if you run this over the span of 10 years, multiple movies, then you have him get injured, get his back broken, or get whatever. Then you want to bring in Batman Beyond. You want to bring in Terry McGinnis. You can go into that whole thing, and then you got a new Batman for the younger or the newer ages. I think you could do something like that. I think having him, I don't want him too old, but I definitely agree. Having him older to, if you're going to run two concurrent Batmans, you need to differentiate, right? We don't want to have two young Batmans.
Yeah, I'm actually against them both being on the screen at the same time.
I don't.
It,
Real quick, my thing is, I'm not a fan of Robert Pattinson's Batman. I'm just not. Like, it just didn't do it for me. I understand where they were going with it. I get it's year two Batman. I wasn't a fan of it. Right? I understand. I've read Batman Year
it's
One.
okay.
I know where we're going with it, and now again, this was a year two. I get it, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just like I just didn't care for it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Like I said, I'm a fan of them not, or my opinion would be not to do two concurrent Batmans in two different like universes at the same time. I think it's too confusing for the audience. If I would say what I would want them to do would be continue doing the Robert Pattinson trilogy, finish that up, then bring in your DCU Batman. And I agree with you, a little older. I'm okay with him being really old as well. Maybe not as old as they did with the Flash movie. Like that's pretty old. I don't.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Not that old. Like yeah, like mid late 30s, early 40s.
Although, ironically, he kicked more ass in that movie than he did in his other ones as far as the movements. I get it wasn't him. It wasn't actually Michael Keaton in that, but they make his Batman look more badass. And I get, I understand.
It was the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
like that was the best part of the Flash movie. Like it was. That was the best part of the Flash movie. But
yeah, I'd rather not see him that age. Like I said, even Ben Affleck's age, because fuck Ben Affleck. I put Ben Affleck the warehouse fight scene in Batman v Superman over even Michael Keaton there. But it's like Batman v Superman warehouse fight scene is my favorite Batman fight scene in live action, and then Michael Keaton's is like right there second. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm
I
good.
mean,
You
and
do a
again,
40-something-year-old Batman.
I guess
I'll
you
be Batman.
also have to kind of, yeah, and you almost have to base it off of Superman at this point because he's introduced first, and David Cornsweet, he's 30 years old, I think, or right around there. So you wouldn't want a Batman any younger than that. Although I know David Cornsweet, he can look younger. Obviously, like he could play someone in their 20s. Like he looks pretty young anyway. So that wouldn't be a far stretch. But I think having Clark be in the Superman movie in his 30s, and that's where they're kind of going to put it around, or even late 20s, you can have a Batman in his late 30s, early 40s, and it would work. I think I would like that. That's just my would be my preference. And I it also it also is kind of a teetering thing. Like I don't want him to be so washed up that he's bitter, and you said it best, like seasoned. Like he's mature, he's understanding of situations, he's not reckless like you see Robert Pattinson's Batman do some reckless things. And even in the Snyderverse, Batman Begins, which shit, I saw this on Twitter, like that movie's been out 20 years, like holy shit. Like it's an old movie, but he was very reckless, right, as Batman, because he was young. I'm done with that. I don't want to. I've seen that Batman enough. I want to see. I don't want to call it the sweet spot Batman, but like, Ben Affleck's Batman was almost there, man. Like it was right there in that sweet spot, right? Mature. He didn't care to kill, a motherfucker every once in a while. It's not a big deal. But he also wasn't putting up with shit.
Well, and for those of you who don't know, the Frank Miller Batman was a very dark Batman. There's a lot of things that
Yes.
go into it. That there were so many things when you read that happened to that Batman in the Frank Miller series, that like he did kill people in in Frank Miller's Batman, just because of everything that had happened to him over the course of his long career as Batman. So when people freaked out, and I get it, right? Like, a lot of people, were used to seeing, Batman, he has the Rule and the Dark Knight. Everybody loved the Dark Knight. And that was a lot of people's introduction to Batman, was the Dark Knight. And his thing was, like that was Joker was trying to get him to break his one rule. But as we've cut into previous videos, and I'm going to cut into this one right now, Michael Keaton's Batman in Batman Returns fucking kills people. Okay, because he guy has a bomb and he knocks him down the fucking manhole, and he blows up. Yeah. He kills him. There's no way the guy survived. He probably didn't even survive the fall down the manhole, right?
Oh no!
Let alone
there's several.
Yeah,
he kills several bad guys there at the beginning when the Penguins crew, the clown posse. I forget, they're the circus. I forget what they're called. Like in the movie, they're called a gang, like the circus. I don't know what it is, but that gang. Oh yeah, that whole scene there at the beginning is like he don't pull punches like. Even in. I mean, he tries to save Joker, I guess, but also he didn't, because he stuck the boulder to his foot, or the gargoyle statue to his foot. Like, I mean, look, I'm not saying he's not a hateful person. He's not going to go kill innocent people or put innocent people in harm's way. But it's like, it's just one of those things where the bomb was strapped to his chest. He was there 1 minute, and then the next, this thing happened, and then he wasn't. Like, darn.
There's this thing, and then the bomb didn't have an owner anymore.
So it was a gift.
It's not a gift. There was this thing, and then the gun didn't have an owner anymore.
But so like I'm good with that. I understand that. I also do see the point of, you have the Batman as the iconic. That's his thing, is he doesn't kill. So I get it, and whichever way they want to take it, I'm really okay with, because I like both Batmans. I love the Frank Miller Batman and all that, but I do love the original, and it's not wrong to love both, right? You love both.
No, yeah,
You can be okay if it going either
they're
way.
different characters.
Yeah,
They're different. They're different. Yeah,
it's going to depend where
It's
he's
fine.
at in his journey. Again, how seasoned are we going to make him? So I'm good to see a seasoned Batman that's kind of like, Superman is the powerhouse of the Justice League, but Batman kind of like runs the show in making a lot of decisions because he does his own thing.
And here's the thing. This is why, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a Superman fan, but if you're asking me who's the most interesting character, it's Batman of the Justice League. Batman is mortal. He's limited. He's flawed.
And I have no special powers. I'm basically just rich and nuts. Rich and nuts.
And well, he's rich too. His character is so deep in not only his relationships, but especially when we're talking about getting into the Batman Beyond, of him being kind of a mentor figure. There's levels to Batman. He has trauma. He's not right mentally. Like, there's so many things that Batman's character goes through, that I just think he's a deeper character than Superman as far as the Justice League goes, and probably anyone in the Justice League.
So, guys, let us know down in the comments of the Justice League. Let's stick with the core 7 for right now. We can venture out later, but we're struggling as a community to get the full Justice League formed, right? So let's stick with the core Justice League. Guys, let us know down in the comments, who do you think is the most interesting character? Is it Batman? Is it Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, or Martian Manhunter? Like, who is, in your opinion, the most intriguing / deepest? Who do you think is the most interesting character? So I'd be curious, because I Superman's my favorite, but I also agree with Mantis. Like, I think Batman has the most
favorite. By the way,
just most interesting. I feel Batman has the most layers, right? Like, there's a lot when you start peeling that fucking onion. There's a lot there. Where Superman's just good and perfect, right? Like, he's just that nobody else can live up to.
He's the Captain America of the Justice League. That's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in the movie Language.
Yeah. That again, final thoughts again. Like, I pretty much spelled out my position on it. I'll be interested to see here, if this is going to be on the back burner. I have a feeling they're not going to cast this for a long time. You're going to give it a couple years. They're going to get the new Superman out and maybe another movie before they even start.
Well, we know Supergirl is set to come out in the next year after that, in 2026, right?
Yeah. I just don't think they're going to venture into the DCU Batman until the other one gets pretty close to being done.
And I think that's a smart decision, right? Yeah. And honestly, a lot of the fans have agreed. They do not like, even when it's in TV form, they don't like seeing two different versions of the character at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree with it. It's too confusing. I don't like it.
Keep it clean. All right, guys. So that's probably going to wrap it up for us as far as for the discussion wise. So if you have made it with us this far, consider giving the video a like, subscribing to the channel. You guys show them where. I don't know if you saw in the last video. I had it moving back and forth. And then let us know down in the comments what you feel about the rumors, what you feel about Batman. What should they do? Should they run concurrents? Are you excited for a concurrent? Do you just rather them, like what Mantis was saying, rather them just wait and we'll start Batman fresh once we kind of get things established? And guys, as always, I want to say this because based off some recent comments that we've got on some of the videos, I'm not going to go on a rant about what they said. But guys, we always value differing opinions, right? Everybody is entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to feel a certain way. Now, that doesn't mean we have to like or agree with your opinion, right? Like, if you told me you like broccoli, I don't like that opinion, right? Like, you're still allowed to have it. I think it's fucking disgusting, so I don't like it. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with you for having it. You can have your opinions. We're at least I'm not going to speak for Mantis. So if you want to comment, direct them to the Stepson of Krypton down there. But where I have a problem is when it comes to hate lack of evidence and shutting down things before like there's any discussion, right? So when your opinion is that, oh, I hate this based off of little to no evidence without giving something a chance, you're still allowed to have that opinion. You're fine to have that opinion, but I don't like that, right? Still have it. You can still voice it. That's what these platforms are for. You can still voice your opinion. People are going to
delete a comment.
We don't delete comments, but people are going to see it when they watch the video. They're going to see your comment. You're allowed to have it, right? I don't like that. I don't like it being shut down. Like, oh nope, movie's going to suck. It's going to be terrible based off of 2 still images or whatever it may be. That shuts down discussion. If you can say, I'm worried, I don't like it, this, but, the immediate hate, when opinions are just immediate hate with little to no reasoning behind it, that's where, like, that shuts down discussion, right?
Yeah.
We want discussion.
We want discussion. We want opinions. We also, I'm not saying you have to give evidence for it, but clearly in the thing we were talking about here, if you say broccoli's terrible, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you, but it would be cool to have some evidence and reasons why you think it's bad. May help your case.
I've tasted it and it just is fucking disgusting. There's my evidence.
Go.
Now, that is very circumstantial, right? Because that's based off of my belief. His taste buds may be different. But, if he says, I fucking love broccoli, all right, cool. We're never going to agree on that, but we can still exist peacefully and have a goddamn YouTube channel. So that's what we're saying,
I don't mind
guys.
broccoli, by the way. It's okay.
All right, we're done with the fucking channel. That's it. No. So that's what we're saying, guys. We're never trying to dismiss somebody's opinion. And if we say something that might seem like we are, or it's not, we just don't agree with it, but you're allowed to have it. We're not saying that you're wrong or that you're a terrible person for your opinion. We're saying, you know what? We just disagree, and that's fine. We're allowed to disagree. Yeah. I would love it if everybody agreed with us all the time, but that's never going to happen, and we don't expect it to. All right, so just remember that, guys. We do value your opinions, whether we disagree with them or not. Okay, doesn't mean it's not valid. I'll say this: I don't like the hate without reasoning or without, in my opinion, without seemingly proof and understanding of the situation. Right? That is very narrow-minded, and that limits discussion. So
I agree.
All right. That's our little rant here. Most of you probably didn't make it this far into the video and gave up as soon as I started talking. It's fine. You're allowed to do that. So, but guys, all right, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Until the next one, we will see you then.
Later.